Burnley notch up 3 points, but does that late penalty at against Swansea paper over the cracks? We're asking that to Dan and talking about Trezor. And because of the goal at West Brom that wasn't, we're going to talk about refereeing standards. Are they getting worse in the Championship? And because of the news in America this week, we're also doing a cheeky question. Who's the best American import to Burnley, both North American or South American? We've asked artificial intelligence, so we're going to ask Dan and see which intelligence wins out. Let's jump straight into it then. Does that result paper over the cracks to win it against Swansea, Dan?
Possibly, yeah. I know when we spoke the other day, last week, I was very down on the whole team. I thought we were just awful. That being said, midweek against West Brom, I thought we were much better. Created a few more chances. We just couldn't score them. Today, I went on. I mean, I saw the penalty got taken. I didn't know what it was given for. I've had to look back and watch it. I believe it was a handball. Is it papering over the cracks? Yeah, it's a more flattering result coming away with those two games with 4 points rather than 2. You know, it makes things look a bit rosier than they actually were. But it's still, you can't get away from the fact we just can't score in open play. We just can't do it. So, yeah, I think it does. I think it does paper over the cracks. I think it does still put us in a difficult position. We're still not scoring, yet we've gone away now with 4 points, which looks at a point away and 3 at home is what you need.
Social media wasn't very complimentary about this Swansea performance. Ash says, let's not allow that look to sugarcoat what was another poor performance. He's boring the life out of us fans. Never trust a man in a cardigan. CM Trade says it was still unacceptable. We deserve to be sacked for this. Having to rely on a 94th minute scrappy penalty to score, ridiculous. And it's something like 300 minutes of play now before Burnley have scored in open play, which is incredible given the talent that you have. We'll come on to the referee decision against West Brom in a second, though. Are they just unlucky? Are they just coming up against teams on their best day, or is there something fundamentally that he's got to sort out here?
I think yes and no. I think teams do come up against us. They raise the levels against us because, not just specifically us, but when you're playing against the better teams, you often raise your game. So there is this element of that to an extent. But in saying that, it's not like we're not creating. Now, if we weren't creating anything, I'd be more frustrated. But we just haven't scored. Against West Brom, I mean, it was a bad back pass, but Sarmiento's through 1-on-1. He should score. Fleming misses a header, which the keeper comes out and makes a decent save. The keeper makes a couple of other saves. We have a few bits of chances. I think there's a header went wide. So we have the ability to get there. It's not like we're not creating anything at all. We are creating, we're just not scoring. Same with today. Fleming missed a sitter, but a corner comes in, he's 6 yards out, he's unmarked, he put it wide. We've had a few other decent half chances. Koleosha makes the keeper make a save. We cut one back as Sarmiento blasts it over the bar. So at some point, the players have to take responsibility for, we are making these chances, we're just not putting them in. So I think people are probably overreacting saying that he needs to go. He has made us solid. We're not conceding, or very, very few. And we are now starting to create. It's only the last 2 games, because before that, I agree with those people. But now we can see us progressing. Now we can see what he's trying to do. He claims he's put 80% of the training on attacking intent. Well, that's got to be absolute nonsense, because if that's all we're making, then, we need to maybe put 90 or 100% on it. But we are now slowly making those waves, whereas a few games ago against Oxford we had nothing, against other teams, Millwall we did nothing. At least now against West Brom and against Swansea today, we have made opportunities. We just can't put them away. But we're not making the amount of opportunities that we did against when we were down here the year before. So I think people probably overreacting a bit. I think probably I was a bit of a boo boy last week. I think I'm a bit more buoyed by it now, and hopefully long may it continue.
Okay. Some queries about players he's not starting and leaving on the bench. Dan, Verified Genius says Trezor is stealing a wage. Moscovin says no way we actually play Trezor to sit at home all day. Ben Lockett says Lauren on the bench again. Are these players deserving of a start?
I think Lauren, I don't understand that one. I think every time I've seen him play, he's been head and shoulders above most of our midfield. Certainly Brownhill, certainly Cullen. Brownhill had a stinker today. I mean, he's been all right so far, but today he just had a bad one, in my opinion. I can't see why Lauren can't get a game. I really don't. I think he provides a bit more of an attacking outlet. He's solid in defence. It's a strange one, is that. Trezor, I don't know why everyone all of a sudden thinks he's the best thing since sliced bread. Well, sliced bread being an excellent footballer. But I don't know why everyone thinks now he's the answer to our prayers. He wasn't very good under Company. He wasn't very good in the league above. He clearly doesn't want to play for us. He's stealing a wage. I appreciate that. But I don't know, if you don't want to play for us, don't let him play. Sell him. Get rid of him. He cost us 20 odd million. I think we could have bought Sunderland for him.
Good shout. Good shout.
I think it's true. Someone put that stat on the other day saying for Tressor we could have bought the entire Sunderland team.
Yeah, absolutely. But even so, you think, wouldn't you? Why is he be happy just sitting on the bench, just not getting games as a professional footballer? Does having that mentality just doesn't sit right with fans, does it?
No, it doesn't. If he don't want to play for us, he hasn't actually said that, but there's a lot of pictures that have gone viral where he just looks like he's fed up. So, the fans, it's a very strange bag. They're saying he's got a lot of potential, and when he played, he showed it in fits and starts, but not to any great extent. And then if you don't want to play for us, fine, go. We could get you off the wage bill, go in January, go wherever you want with our blessing. You've barely been on our pitch. Or get your head down, get in the team, because if he is as good as everyone thinks he is or says he is, well, then he set this world on fire. So I don't understand the dynamic. I don't know what's gone wrong. Somebody somewhere will, but it's a very strange one for me.
Okay. All right. Two quick ones for you then. Refereeing standards. Have they gone down for you?
Let me just push it this one a little bit. Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud? Yeah. You saw what I saw on Thursday. I think almost the entire footballing world saw what we saw. That was a terrible decision. What's the answer? Did any better? I think it's been poor. I do. I think I know the decision today went our way, but I think if it went against us, I'd be a bit frustrated at that. There's a few times where you think the referees seem to favour a team, which shouldn't really be the case. I think it is a poor standard. I don't think it's just restricted to the Championship either. I think it's through the divisions. The counter argument to that is without the refs, we don't have a game. What do? Do you try and improve the standards? VAR clearly isn't the answer because no one really likes that. So what do you do about it? We need the refs. They give the decisions. And I've been a big advocate against VAR and say that when you come off, calling the referee crap is part of the game. You come away and argue with your mates. How was he given that? He's absolutely got it. I don't see how he's seen that and what have you. But it is. I think it's poor standard of refereeing. People will say, I've never played professionally. People will say I'm wrong in that. But I think as an observer, sometimes they get it right, but they just seem to get too much wrong, in my opinion. So I think they have slipped, certainly.
And let's imagine that Burnley miss out on playoffs or promotion by 2 points. Those 2 points that were chalked off at West Brom. You still wouldn't advocate for VAR? Because if VAR was in that game, that goal stands.
It does, but in saying that, I don't advocate for VAR because we've been there. It's rubbish. It ruins the game. It does get some right, don't get me wrong, but it still misses stuff and it slows the game down. It slows the pace of the game down. I don't particularly like it or enjoy it. Plus, also, you say that it cost us 2 points. It really didn't. We should be taking it out of the referee's hands. If you're trying to whinge and moan, if you've gone down by 2 points and you're blaming the ref, or if you've missed out on promotion by 2 points and you're blaming the ref, it's really not the referee's fault. Yeah, okay, there'll be the odd, it may cost you points here and there, but on that game against West Brom, like we mentioned earlier, we had 2 or 3 really good chances that we just fluffed. So to try and blame the referee to say, we didn't go up because of you, well, no, you can't do that, in my opinion.
Okay, good shout. Okay, finally this week then, we're talking America, and of course with the big news of the election over there, so we thought we'd cheekily ask what's been, or who has been, the biggest American influence on Burnley, both North or South American. We asked ChatGPT to answer this for us. Dan, what would you say as a Burnley fan?
I think certainly one of the more popular ones was Vitinho,
Yeah.
being Brazilian. I think he seemed to be one that everyone seemed to like. He was very, very good. As far as Americans go in general, we've not had an abundance of them at Burnley.
No,
You may correct me on this.
No, that's right. Yeah, that didn't. In fact, what ChatGPT said, Vincent Company's influence includes American investment under ALK Capital.
That's about it. Yeah, I think we've got Sarmiento's Ecuadorian, I think, but only by birth. He was born in Spain, and he's only on loan to us. But his parents, are Ecuadorian, and he plays for them. But like I say, Vitinho's another. You probably stretching my knowledge now of American players.
That's
we'll stick with Vitinho.
Yeah,
Vitinho's the right answer.
Can you do better than that? Drop a comment below. Right, thank you very much, Dan. Next week we are previewing Bristol City away, so join us for that. Thank you very much, Dan. We'll see you in a week's time.
A different person.
Welcome back to Where Clarets Walk. The question we're asking this week is, how do you beat Bristol City? How to beat Bristol City, plus are Burnley under or overperforming? We're asked Dan to grade the transfer window, and which championship managers does Dan really rate? Should Scott Parker get the bullet? Right, let's jump straight into it. How do you go about beating Bristol City? They are unbeaten in 7. Oh, sorry, they were unbeaten in 7 until Sheffield United went there, but before that they were unbeaten in 7.
It's a difficult one to call, isn't it? Because they've had a pretty solid start. They're only about mid-table-ish, but they don't lose many. They've only lost 2 or 3. They draw an awful lot. I think they won this weekend. I think, did they win?
Yeah, they beat Norwich. Yeah.
So it's a difficult one. And I think, again, given our form, albeit we did beat Swansea, I think we're probably hurtling towards a draw on this one, aren't we?
Absolutely. I've got it down as a 1-1. Absolutely. I can't see any other result personally myself. What about the team?
It's very kind of you to think that we'd score.
Maybe another dodgy penalty. What about the team, Dan? What do you change from that starting 11 against Swansea 2 weeks ago?
I would rejig the midfield. I mean, we need somebody up front. Fleming, he's trying hard, but he's not the man. Neither's Rodriguez, but we're stuck with what we've got. So you've got to put one of them two up front. It's just the way it is. I think really the midfield needs a bit of a rejig. I don't think Cullen is firing. And against Swansea, Brownhill, in my opinion, was poor. He was really bad. But in saying that, he has been pretty solid all season, so maybe it was just a bad game for him. Whereas Collins, he got booked early on. He should have possibly got sent off as well at half-time. So I'd maybe take him out, put Laurent in. I don't know why he's been dropped. I really don't. I think he's been very, very good for us. So I'd start him. Maybe put Hannibal in just for that extra work rate at the beginning. But when he gets booked, inevitably, take him off. So I think you stick with pretty much the same as what he's done, but just rejig that midfield, make it a bit more attacking. And like I say, probably Cullen for Laurent, and then we're stuck with what we've got up front. You can possibly put a Tunji on as well, but he, my thoughts on him. It's well documented over the last few weeks. So I think don't have to tinker too much. I think we're getting there, but maybe just that midfield could do a little bit more oomph behind it.
Okay. Let's have a look at how Burnley have done compared to what the stats say they should have done. So this is from Opta Analyst, and this compares actual to expected points. And of course, they calculate the expected points from XG, your own XG, of course, from the shots that you should have scored versus the shots you should have conceded. Look at how far you are down this table. What does that tell you? I mean, your actual points is 23. Your expected points is 18.6. So you are overperforming in relation, of course, to what you expected. But look, you're halfway down the league in terms of expected points. That says a lot about your own XG in games, doesn't it? Which in some games, Dan, has been 0.0 something, which for Burnley is just isn't good enough, is it?
It's not. No, I mean, you can always make stats make whichever tale you want them to tell, but I think this one, sadly, is the most accurate you're going to see for the entirety of the season. I think a couple of weeks ago, someone put a tweet on saying that our XG was the lowest in all the leagues and our goals were the lowest in all the leagues, and that puts it in perspective there. That's what it's there for playing and everyone to see. We're just not scoring. I mean, I think we scored 1 goal in the last 4 games. Or 2. It's not many more than that. And the only upside to us is that we're not conceding, which is why we're probably higher than where we currently are, because we're winning by the odd goal. So yeah, I mean, it is worrying. And I think January we have to either get people back. Foster might, I'm not saying he's the answer, but he can score when he wants to. He goes on a run. And I think when you really need to be looking towards a striker, and all the hard to come by, but the frustration is you look, Obafemi's gone to Plymouth, he's scoring. Chris Wood, I know we sold him a long time ago, and he's been to 2 teams in them, but he's like the top scorer in the Premier League. So we know we've had strikers, we just don't have them at the minute, and it is a worry. It's a huge concern. But what can you do about it?
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like we're getting into a broken record, aren't we? Maybe one week we'll batter someone 4-0, and then we can change the record. Yeah, absolutely. If you don't yet follow us, please do drop us a subscribe. We really appreciate it. You know where the button is, just down below. Soon going to be Christmas, and we'll look at the Christmas fixtures, of course, next week. But we've got to tie a bow around the summer, first of all. Last time I asked you to grade the summer transfer window, you said, "Oh, we've not seen all the players yet, and some haven't featured." So now I think it's a fair question to ask you to grade for the last time. How good was Burnley's recruitment now that you've seen enough of the players you signed?
It wasn't great. We've recruited championship level players. This team has ambition to get out of this out of this division, which is fine. I think some have been hits, some have been misses. I think Lauren, I quite like him. I think he's been very good. Anthony hasn't really started firing yet. I think Sarmiento's coming into it a bit now. He's getting a bit of game time. He was very impressive against Swansea. Hannibal is a lot of energy, but not much substance behind him. And we're not scoring. Fleming, he hasn't really shown to be a goal scorer. So you've got to think, at first we were looking maybe 7, 8, 9 out of 10. Now you're looking maybe like 5, 6 out of 10. We've solidified things up, but, the back 4, I think, aside from Perez or, what's he called now, from Chelsea? He come on against Swansea. I can't remember his name now. But aside from them 2 on the left-hand side, we've not the back 4. So you've got Roberts, CJ Egan-Riley, Esteve, and Trafford. We're all there anyway. So we didn't recruit them. We had to get a left-sided player, which we have. And so, yeah, it's not been terrible. We've got players of a decent style. We're 4th in the league. We're solid. We're just... I think had we have got a decent striker, we'll be having a very different conversation. But as it is, we're not. So it's been okay. It's not been bad. We've made a lot of money, but it's just, I don't think you can't really, fans don't really want to see that. You don't want to see you go broke, but we've made a few quid.
Okay.
Players' name,
right. Drop us. I can't think myself. It's been a long night. There we go. Drop us your comments on that. Finally, there's lots of managerial merry-go-rounds at this time of year because it's the last international break and clubs take a gamble. Hypothetically, if Scott Parker was to leave anywhere, let's say, I don't know, Southampton wanted to take a chance on him, which current Championship manager do you currently rate the highest?
I don't know forgive me, I'm not really... great with the names of them, but certainly I think Sunderland's manager seems to be working miracles. I know it's easy to say we're in the top of the league, but could anybody, hand on heart, name 4 or 5 Sunderland players currently in that current squad? They're not well-known players and not top-level players, but he seems to be getting a hell of a tune out of them. And he's only lost a couple. As for the rest of them, Mark Robbins just lost his job. I think that was probably a little harsh. I know Coventry are, bottom half of the table. I think they're our next home game as well. But that seems to be a bit of a harsh sacking. So I certainly think the Sunderland manager, I can't say Sheffield United or Leeds because I don't, we know who their managers are. Chris Wilder and who's Leeds gaffer now? Is it
Daniel Farg?
Farg, they're decent enough. Don't get me wrong, but I think the Sunderland manager is brilliant.
Okay, good shout, Regis Labrie. Right, drop us your comments below. Right, well, enjoy your trip to Bristol City. We will catch you the other side of it. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in a week's time as we count down into the next section of this amazing championship season, Christmas time.